Welcome back to Behind the Hook, presented by All the Crackers in the Box. Tonight, we'll be talking about the spectacular shawl, Calypso. Made with rainbow cotton Hobie yarn, over 1,700 meters, roughly about there. A little bit off, tiny bit off, just tiny. We'll talk about the trials and tribulations of such a ginormous, crazy, huge shawl. Good to see you. So, my mother and I were watching a wonderful YouTube video put on by the Crochet Witch, Heather. Heather's her name. I can't think of her last name right now. I apologize, Heather. I'm so sorry if you're watching, if you ever hear about this. Sorry, my bad. I'm sure I could look it up, but I'm kind of lazy right now. Anyways, she pulled out the spectacular shawl, and it was made with King Cole, I think it was, yarn, discontinued, gorgeous facets to it, had a multicolor feel to it, it had some grays, it had some this, it had some that, a little bit of fire to it. Loved it, absolutely loved it. She was so giddy about it, and her energy and her excitement and her devotion to the shawl was very infectious. So my mother and I were both like, whoa. My mother especially was like, wow. And my mom doesn't like to ask for anything nice, so she slept on it for a night, and the next day she came to me. She's like, I can't stop thinking about that shawl. I need it. I need it for myself. I need it to wrap around my shoulders. I was like, cool. Fun. I'm all in. As soon as she said she needed it, I went back, looked at it, found out that the pattern's free. So I went and downloaded the pattern, which is on Ravelry, Calypso. And let me just grab my tablet for one moment here to show you, because there's other people who have items called Calypso on Ravelry, and they're not free, or they're discontinued. You were looking for Calypso by Jasmine Ornos. O, the little funny things on the top, RNO. SOS. And these are the pictures you are going to see. Stunning. Stunning. But it is still there. It is still free as of like 2 days ago, because I checked on Facebook because people were saying that they couldn't find it. So I had to triple check. And it is still there. It's still free. And it's a beautiful piece. It is gorgeous. I figured out how to read charts now because of it. I really was struggling with the wording on things. I find that when I'm doing a shawl, for some reason, I can make, like, with amigurumis, I seem to do really well with the written instructions. No problem. How many? Do around, do this, do that. Peh. Easy peasy. A shawl, though. I have done 2 shawls now, and both times I have struggled immensely with the written instructions. So YouTube videos have helped. Like my first one, I think I was all YouTube, so that really helped when I couldn't understand a thing, because I had to go through 3 different types to find one that would work for the yarn especially. There was a bit of it's a beautiful yarn for my first shawl, but it had this part where it went from a light color, like a really light pink, to a darker pinkyish mauve color to white. Very, very eye-catching, but when the colors were mixing together, I didn't like the way the white and the mauve, darker mauve, were working with the stitches needed for one of the shawls that I had chosen, so that didn't work out for me. I just could not do it. It just, no. But needless to say, what I was talking about was the fact that I find shawls a little tricky to read. So in this one in particular, it came with written and 2 charts. And I was able to check back with the charts, and I was able to finally have a chart actually, boom, suddenly just boom, I can read them. My mind is not sore. My brain is not hurting. I understand what I'm doing. Here, this is a double crochet. This is a skip. This is a chain. This is a double, triple crochet. Yeah, those are fun. A little different. You have to count 4, not 3. Yeah, those were in there too. So there's a couple fun stitches, nothing crazy. There are lots of good YouTube videos on how to do a triple crochet and a double triple crochet. They are a very long one. They are beautiful. Made the fans, oh, the shaping. Was very happy with it. I have had about 2 weeks working on this, and you got to keep in mind, I can't devote my whole life to just crochet as much as I would love to. I have many other things I got to do. I have to paint. I have to talk to the kids. I got to take care of the kids. I mean, come on. I mean, I can get a little bit in when I do my coffee in the morning, and then it's off to cleaning and this and that and this and that. Like, I've got library day coming up in a couple days, and that's always a fun time. Please don't take it as a complaint. My children are young. Sometimes we need to go to the park. Sometimes I can't crochet because I gotta go and be mommy. Like, I think this is one of those times. Okay, totally went off topic. Here we are. So, we searched for the particular yarn that the original shawl we saw from the Crochet Witch YouTube channel. Gorgeous piece. Gorgeous, gorgeous work. That yarn is no longer available anywhere. To buy it, almost impossible. So that put us on a long, let me tell you, long, exhaustive, few-day search for something comparable. Like, she had this vision in her head where she didn't want it to be like my cakes that I love here. These cakes here. Love the color changes, the gradual subtlety of them, the texture, everything about them has just rang my bell repeatedly. I love the cakes. My mom's not sold on them. She wanted something that had a little more of an ombre effect that the cakes do not have. And it is really tricky to find something with more of that ombre style. She didn't want a thick acrylic. She wanted something light and airy for summer, because this is a summer shawl just to throw on when she's cool. She has some heart problems, so it's good for her to have something to throw on when she's feeling cool. And so we looked at a few different Hobie items because they seem to have the best price for the best quality and the best color ways for what she wanted. And we landed on our big 10 pack of rainbow. And we went with an 8-4. So it isn't the thinnest, like, nothing like my cakes, which are quite a bit thinner, but it wasn't the thinnest one, it's not the thickest one, so it's a fairly decent size. Like, I would say this one here and this, not really wearable cotton. I wouldn't wear this as clothing. For the snoods, yeah, totally fine, but for a shirt, no. So I'd say it's probably a little bit less than that, but it was also probably because it was silky smooth. Like, it was so soft. My 3.5 just glided like it was water. Just glide through, in, out, in, out. Anyways, so I used a 3.5 for this particular pattern, and we used rainbow 100% cotton. She wanted light. She did not want acrylic. She didn't look. We looked at some bamboo stuff, but we couldn't find anything that was really coloring her color wise. We looked at hand dyed stuff. Like, we really looked for something interesting. Anyways, rainbow 8/4 print. And I've talked about rainbow before. She has used it as her bracelet. So say this bracelet here, I believe a lot of it is made with rainbow lace, the very, very thin. So 50 grams, 1.75 ounces, 170 meters approximately, or 186 yards, and that's per skein, and we have 10, so she wanted all 10. She wanted this shawl to be huge and oversized, and something that she could just wrap in. She didn't want to have a little tiny church shawl. She wanted something to just, almost a blanket style, right? Really close. Like, it fits her like almost like it's a blanket, which has made her very happy. So if I were to knit it, it would be 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter knitting needles. And for crochet, it was 2.5 to 3.5 millimeters. We went with the 3.5 because I like my 3.5. I'll use it wherever I can. So, I have heard rumors that this particular yarn is going to be discontinued, sadly. But I would definitely use Hobie's little brightly colored, all of them gorgeous. I would definitely use their cottons. I do have a Mayflower cotton, which they've discontinued a long time ago, and I got those at like blowout prices, like 79 cents or something per piece. And I got a couple colors to try out. I haven't figured out what I want to make with them. They are absolutely stunning. I love them. I love them. I love them. Most of the cotton I've ever used has been a little more along this quality, where it's got this coarseness to it, and I wouldn't want to wear that against my skin, and it's kind of thick. So for a washcloth, number one. But for so wearable, I want something very soft and very rub it on your face kind of thing. I think Bag O'Day calls it scarfable, which always makes me laugh every time I've heard her say it. What else can I say about this? It took about 2 weeks, just over, and as I was saying before, I don't have all day to devote to crocheting, and there were times where I had to take out a whole row and a half because I made a small mistake. It's a beautiful piece. It took me about 2 weeks to get it done. I don't have all day to be crocheting as much as I would like to. I give a little bit here, and then there were times that I do a couple hours worth of work, and I was super excited I was able to fit it in, and then I find a mistake, so I had to pull back. In this particular piece, there were spots where, I had to go back. I knew it was a mistake, so I had to go fix it. I couldn't just wander away and leave it, or flub it, so to speak. It had to be fixed. So that's just me being a perfectionist, and I mean, it is for my mom, so I kind of don't feel bad about being a little bit harsh on myself and making sure that everything was done to the specifications exactly of the pattern for the most part. I love the shape of it. I love how it turned out. I was a little nervous here and there, but I got a good rhythm going after the first week, and my yarn ring really helped keep the tension throughout the whole thing. The stitching stayed really uniform, which I am so excited about because I am still fairly new with the crochet. I'm getting a bit better on things. With the amigurumi, I'm able to keep a good tension, but everything else, especially wearables, because I'm very new at doing wearables, I'm finding that my tension could be a little bit better, and with the ring I've been using, my tensions are staying on top. So that made things a lot easier. However, went over like gangbusters, so to speak. She loves it. Colors were good. It was a little later than it should have been, which she was totally fine with. I gave her lots and lots of updates on how it looked, let her touch it, let her see how far it's going, and she was just so happy to have it done. She's been wearing it every day since. So, all in all, I'd say that this project turned out to be a wonderful success. Beautiful. I got to use a beautiful yarn that I'm very happy that I got to experience and feel for a couple weeks. That was lovely. And that is part of my goal to use the yarn. You see these yarns beside me, they're not going to stay there forever. Those are going to go. I have seen so many beautiful projects that I'm just going to keep going and going and going till and keep rotating through. I've got a running list of about 15 things that will be done fairly soon. One of my next ones is going to involve granny squares, bright greens, and a specific flower. I don't want to say too much because a certain person may or may not be watching. I'm not sure if she does or not, but I have ideas of something spectacular and very, very much fitting for the person. So this has been Behind the Hook at All the Crackers in the Box. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed seeing a retrospect of one of my biggest projects to date, and one that I'm super proud of and glad that it turned out better than I could have ever imagined. I hope you have a great day or night, day, whatever it is. Thanks for joining me here.